name's Jeff Medina.
My name is Jessica Vasquez.
Hi, I'm Geneva.
My name is Katrina.
Hi, I'm Apu.
I'm Sam Eastwood.
My name is Amy Oswald.
Troy Kimmel. Been in Austin since about 1984.
For years, I've struggled with snoring and sleep apnea.
And I've had an oral device now for 2 years.
Literally, it has changed my life.
It truly has changed my life.
It's honestly been life-changing.
Yeah, I truly believe that, this has helped save my life.
Life-changing.
It's amazing.
In the 2 years that I've used it, it's completely changed every aspect of my life. And so I'm so happy that I've not only gave it a try, but now I can't imagine sleeping a night without it.
I used to sleep a lot during the day. I'd take super long naps. I'd come home, take a nap. I just felt like I didn't get enough sleep.
I developed premature atherosclerosis, age 55. I was running around, optimal weight, optimal blood pressure, everything looks great. And all of a sudden I have arteries clogging up.
But I think I still was a little bit sleepy or not drowsy, but still could manage to go to sleep in the middle of the day. I don't do that now.
I've had sleeping difficulties for a few years, and the dentist was able to inform me that it was traced back to some orthodontic work I'd got done when I was in high school.
When I would sleep for long periods of time, like 9, 12 hours, I would wake up tired, but it wasn't like regular tired. I just felt like I was exhausted.
So it was affecting my sleep significantly. I was never getting a full night's rest.
There's a lot of issues that I was having. I started, just Googling online and found that these symptoms were tied to sleep apnea.
My spouse was having lots of sleep disruptions from me snoring, and he would oftentimes have to kind of shake me awake to get me to catch my breath.
Was diagnosed with anemia years ago, and I always thought my tiredness was due to that, just because I was always tired and I would sleep 12 hours and still be tired. But
I guess it first started, my partner informed me that I'm a snorer.
And I just didn't realize that I might have sleep apnea. It never just came into my mind. I thought, well, maybe I'm just eating too close to bed. Maybe, I'm training too much. I'm not taking enough recovery days. You go through everything else. And then, like I said, my ex showed this video and I'm like, I'm not breathing. Like, this is a real problem. Like,
Sleeping in a different room from my spouse, and we just needed to fix it. So
I got it because of atrial fibrillation, very rare amount of it, but it was enough that the doctors couldn't figure out why I was having it.
Get up out of bed, and as soon as I'm walking around, after I get out of bed, I'm wide awake. That's never happened before, ever in my life.
that's been a big change. I don't hit snooze anymore. I used to be like an every 15 minutes for, 45 minutes to an hour. And now, actually often I wake up before my alarm and I'm not having that groggy, don't want to get out of bed, miserable feeling.
You get a sleep test and you see that your sleep apnea has gone away. But I didn't need the sleep test because, I instead of waking up, feeling like I slept under a truck, I was waking up full of energy again.
And I love that because now I no longer take naps. I have tons of energy.
I do wake up feeling refreshed. I feel like throughout my day, I'm not needing to take a nap.
But now I feel a lot better. Like there were days where I would wake up feeling like I didn't sleep at all. And you put that with like 2-3 weeks of that and you're just exhausted all the time.
Oh my gosh.
Versus now, wake up every day refreshed. Now
I can start with my father. My father was one of Dr. Brandon's first patients that he treated. My father came to us pretty unhealthy, had some health conditions. He was wearing a CPAP at the time, but his AHI was a 56.2. And after learning about sleep apnea and how we treat it, I knew that I wanted my dad to come in, and I knew that I at least wanted us to try to get his AHI down. With him being severe, I knew that was going to be a pretty hard feat. And he didn't hate the CPAP, which is fine. but I wanted to see what he thought of the appliance. And we got him treated, and at his efficacy study, he was down below a 5, and we were absolutely shocked.
During the week, I never nap.
No sleeping during the day, not even any tiredness. I mean, obviously I teach at the university and other things like this, so I get on pretty heavy schedules. I've got
use it every night. Now I can't even imagine a night of not using it.
It's honestly been life-changing.
It has significantly decreased my snoring, but I will say all of us are sleeping better, even my son.
Basically, within a month, I had enough information that this was working and it was something that's worth pursuing. Yeah, so the most obvious one was the number of times I was waking up during the night went down significantly.
But I'm not, I don't see that sleepiness during the day now. I can go home and if I get a break during the day, sometimes I'll go home and watch a little TV. I'm not falling asleep on the couch anymore, like at one point that I might have.
And I don't have bags under my eyes and I actually feel well rested, so I know it's working. I'm actually getting into the REM sleep that I need, which apparently based on the studies, I was getting not even an hour a night, and now I'm actually getting the amount that I should be.
After 2 or 3 months, you look back and think, oh, hell, I'm sleeping all the way through the night now. And,
yeah, gradual process.
Yeah, I don't feel like I need to take a nap in the afternoon. And I'm not nodding off when I'm driving, on the highway. And, yeah.
As we know, sleep is very important. And I thought I was sleeping, but I wasn't, not compared to what I do now.
And also the fact that I can stay asleep for 8 hours now is a huge improvement. That's something that I didn't think my body could do.
And I have not even had a bleep of a fast heart rate probably since the second week I started the sleeps. I mean, it's been amazing. I sleep I do not take supplementals any longer to sleep, which were just, over the counter, but still, I don't take any of that.
I did notice, I didn't really have to take naps during my break, and I felt pretty good. Probably like about maybe about a month or so after wearing it, the final stage, I started feeling some positive results. So it worked, and it's literally, it has changed my life.
It still works. It keeps me from snoring, and it keeps me from having those sleep interruptions during the night.
My husband stopped snoring once he started wearing the appliance, and
back into, I think my AHI score was 5, which is right at the normal. Yeah.
Hey. I have not had any atrial fibrillation since I started. I have not had any rapid heart rate where I've had to stop and look at my Apple Watch. I have not had anything. I just am normal since I started the using the appliance. I mean, that's what was so awesome. You get to sit there and see on her computer, this is how you slept. This is the sleep apnea that you had. That week that I was a 3, it was nothing. There was 0.
Now that I do have the oral device, I mean, I don't need to nap during the day anymore. I feel like I've actually slept.
I'm sleeping better than I have probably in a long time, including being on the CPAP, in my opinion. Really? Since we started this summer and gotten off of the CPAP, left it cold turkey, and we went with the sleep appliance, making our adjustments, I feel like I'm sleeping better. And you look at the tools that we have available to you and the tool that I use, look at the Snore app, see how I'm doing. I'm impressed.
I sleep better. I get a better quality of sleep overall. It's not like I never need a nap. I still need an occasional nap. Just not every day, all day. I might still fall asleep in church occasionally, but I try not to.
My blood pressure, I didn't even mention that, the bottom number has come down 3 to 5 points. in the last 3 weeks from being on it for so long. That was another thing. I don't really have high blood pressure, but it was a little bit high, and it is normal.
The quality of the sleep, I was able to reach a deeper state of sleep, and I was able to stay in that state for longer. Previous to that, the only way I was able to achieve that level of sleep was by using things like sleeping tablets or whatever.
Since I've got my oral device, I mean, it's almost been non-existent. I wake up in the same position I was in the morning. I wake up with the oral device still in.
But now with the mouthpiece, it's pulling my jaw open more, so my airway is completely unobstructed, and so I get 100 times better sleep, and it's almost never do I have any breaks in my sleep patterns.
If you'll pardon the pun, most people are asleep to how bad their sleep is.
The biggest questions I had when I started was how often I would need to see the specialist to make adjustments. And so I wasn't keen on signing up for something that would require me every month or so making changes.
It was very odd at first feeling because it jutted my lower jaw forward at night. I slept better right away, but I couldn't talk very well, and my husband still tells me, please take that out before you try to have a conversation. But it's very effective. I think maybe the hardest part of the transition was simply getting used to my mouth getting a little dry because I'm a mouth breather.
Well, for me, it took about 2 weeks. I would wake up and it would be on my pillow. Didn't realize I even took it out my mouth. But one night I just ended up taking out only one tray, and then the next night it stayed in and just stayed in since then. So it was uncomfortable, as in I just wasn't used to having something in my mouth.
So. It was a month or two of adjusting it to gradually get the jaw to pull forward under the warranty. So yeah, it's probably a 2-3 month ordeal for me, but I finally got it down in.
I knew because it was very comfortable in my mouth. I had no issues. I popped it in. I went to sleep. I didn't wake up till the next day.
Simple to put in. After the first week, it's not quite noticeable.
So my bite alignment's better. For a while, even with Invisalign, my jaw was shifting, and now actually the appliance is helping keep my jaw in place better.
It took me a minute to get adjusted to the sleep device. I mean, I wasn't used to, having something in my mouth like a retainer or braces or anything. I'd never really done anything like that. But the first couple nights, I mean, I could definitely feel it in my mouth, like there's something on my teeth. And it was a little uncomfortable, to be sure. But the more I wore it and the more I woke up feeling like, oh wow, this is something really beneficial to me, the easier it was for me just to put it in at night and just go to sleep. And since then, I mean, sometimes I'll wake up with sore teeth in the morning, but that goes away within 10 minutes. And otherwise, I don't really notice it.
You definitely notice it puts some stress on your jaw. So yeah, I mean, anybody should know right up front that those exercises that you're given to do, that's mandatory. That's not just if you feel like it. Yeah, because I noticed if I don't do the exercises, the jaw feels not quite right.
Oh, right.
I've had a couple of fillings since then, but then they all took care of adjusting the device, grinding out where the filling was, and so it's been good.
It's good.
Everyone that I've spoken with is great. It's really easy to schedule. They actually even would have me on wait lists. So a lot of the times with my son either being sick or having a random day off of school, sometimes I would have to change my appointment or I would have to push it out further than I would like. So it was really nice. They would even call me once a week or so and say, hey, we have a spot open up if you want to come in. So it was always nice to have that flexibility. And then the 2 techs that I worked with involving actually getting my mouthpiece put together and instructing me on everything, they were just so nice and thorough and really personable, and bedside table manner is really important to me.
And then of course I broke the device in the middle, so that put me back a month.
Oh, yeah.
We're good about getting that fixed and taking care of that. A good team of people to work with. Yeah, when we had a problem with my device cracking, they helped and took care of that.
And so, but as we went through the process, y'all have been great.
Schedule an appointment, see if it was covered under my insurance, which it was, which I was really glad it was.
So thankful for the science that you guys have done to make a sleep appliance, because I would have never done it any other way. And I would have been missing out on a lot of things. Can make me tear up.
Yeah.
Just last fall, I finally got the Somnodent Avant device, and I tried some of the Boil and Bite devices, and they seemed to help somewhat, but they didn't, really solve the problem.
Yeah.
But it's more comfortable, and you can feel that your jaw's getting pulled to the, there's micro adjustments, so you can feel like your jaw's, you can adjust it till you get to the right position.
Yes, and I would not get the CPAP, and I did not want to take the test because I didn't want to wear a mask.
I thought I had used some previous ones and they didn't fit comfortably. The CPAP for almost 10 years.
Oh, wow.
I'm a caregiver, and when I started out with the CPAP, it worked fine as long as I was at home in my own bed. But then when I became a caregiver where I was staying over at other people's houses overnight, then that made it very inconvenient, and it's too much to lug back and forth.
It was very effective. It did stop my snoring, but it was just very uncomfortable. Having to wear a mask and having a machine, and like I said, traveling. I travel a lot for work. It's almost having to take another piece of luggage on a plane. That the CPAP machine, and my wife confirmed this. There were still times where my obstruction in my airway was still closing, and so it would still affect my sleep. Now it would be significantly better still from not using any device at all, but now with the mouthpiece, it's pulling my jaw open more, so my airway is completely unobstructed, and so I get 100 times better sleep, and it's almost never do I have any breaks in my sleep patterns.
Saw a pulmonologist, and the pulmonologist, he asked me, he said, like, well, do you want to try a CPAP machine, or do you want surgery? And well, I chose the CPAP option, and I tried it out, and it just wasn't for me. I couldn't sleep very well, with it on. I just couldn't,
Like I say, for those 10 or 15 years, loved it. And by the way, you wouldn't have wanted to try to take that CPAP away from me, because I knew I was sleeping better. I just find now that I'm sleeping better plus.
Probably the biggest thing is most people don't realize they have a problem because it comes on really gradually, and you gradually get used to your sleep getting worse and worse and feeling more and more tired, and I must be getting old. Well, don't think you're getting old until you've had the test.
I would say that for anyone who's considering if they feel like the same way that I do, don't wake up feeling rested, or you have other symptoms of, like just not sleeping great, I would suggest a sleep test, even if, you might not have sleep apnea.
I not only would recommend it, I have a friend right now that I'm dealing with, trying to help her to.
Even when I was younger, and I think if I had continued to leave it untreated, I might not feel the best and feel the way that I do today, feel energetic and good.
The money that you spent?
Oh my goodness. It was so worth the study. I even said to my husband, if I lost this or broke it, I don't care how much it cost, I would go get another one right now.
I was a little uncertain because I think I was kind of used to the CPAP.
My brother was a non-believer, my husband was a non-believer, and they both now can't function without their appliance.
It wasn't something that I was just going to blindly stumble into. It's something that I had to really take a look at the pros and cons.
My front tooth right here is a fake tooth. And that scared the heck out of me when I first sat in the chair and put the piece in my mouth, and then she told me to pull it out, and it's very tight, and I just knew that was going to come out and have no tooth there. And so I actually would not wear the machine, wear the oral device. I would not wear it because I was scared that it was going to make my tooth come out, until I had a dentist tell me that it was okay. Well, sure enough, the dentist explained that when you pull it out, you're not pulling on the front tooth, you're pulling on the whole thing. And so you're fine. And
so frankly, I hadn't heard that much, Ben, about sleep appliances. Just hadn't heard about it, and I said, okay, I've got to learn a little more about this. And frankly, I think the technology changed in the time period. And so when I began to see that the CPAP was great 10 to 15 years ago, now we've got more tools at our disposal.
I was very skeptical when I began the process. I was keen to give the device a good go, but I didn't want to do anything that would cause negative outcomes in the long term.
My dad was shocked. I can say that he wasn't a believer in oral appliance therapy. He kept a journal and a log every day, worried that it wasn't working, and in the end, he was treated and he was so incredibly happy.
You know, my wife, she comes in to, I go to bed first, and she comes in and she all she hears is silence, and I'm out. And it takes me maybe 2 minutes to fall asleep, whereas before, God, it would take me forever to fall asleep.
And, sleep apnea is just so inflammatory to your whole system that, I needed to solve the whole problem. Yeah, I can understand, because I tried on a CPAP, and I just couldn't see spending the rest of my life with a scuba apparatus on my face.
My favorite story is when I usually get in bed, it normally takes me an hour to go to sleep, probably, because I'm probably not sleepy enough. Now, when I get in bed, sometimes I'll wake up, say if I go to bed at 10, I'll wake up at 11:30, and I literally think it's 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning because I'm almost drugged. I'm so asleep.
I wake up refreshed in the morning. I want to do things. I don't just want to lay in bed all day. I have energy to do the things I want to do in my life, and that is also something that's been really beneficial to me.
It's worth it,
So we looked into it, and the oral device was so much more comfortable. And I noticed after 1 year of using it that my blood pressure dropped to 180/20, always under that. And I've had high blood pressure for an extremely long time.
I'm so asleep. And I love that because now I no longer take naps. I have tons of energy. I've been exercising more. It truly has changed my life.
And my numbers back then was 25 episodes an hour. And so I felt I needed it, but I just didn't know how to handle this. And now my sleep apnea numbers are down to 2.4. And so that's just totally amazing.
And it has made an enormous impact on every aspect of my life. I love it, absolutely love it. An enormous impact on every aspect of my life. I love it, absolutely love it.